There's been a growing demand for two-pedal vehicles in the Indian car market. What with growing number of buyers and a road system that's struggling to keep up, many new buyers have realized that switching to two-pedal option is the best way forward. Traditionally, the B segment has been the bastion of the automatic, with Maruti Suzuki and Hyundai pushing their AMTs, while Renault and Datsun have been looking big at CVTs. Now, Ford is returning to the fray with this car, the Figo Automatic. Previously, the Figo Automatic was offered with a 1.5-litre 4-cylinder petrol and a 6-speed DCT, but now has switched to a 1.2-litre petrol and a 6-speed torque converter. This is expected to give it better fuel economy and also put the Figo Automatic in a lower tax bracket. Does it have what it takes to fight the competition? Let's find out. The biggest change to this Figo that we are driving is that it now gets a 1.2-litre 3-cylinder petrol engine mated to a 6-speed torque converter automatic, as opposed to a 1.5-litre 4-cylinder petrol and a 6-speed DCT that had previously been offered with this car since its launch in 2015. This engine produces 94 bhp and 119 Nm of torque. Now, the gearbox comes with a sport mode that allows you to hold the revs for longer and build up momentum, and this is especially important when you need to make quick overtakes. You also get manual control via these buttons on the gear stalk. On the go, this 1.2-litre mill, even with the 5-speed manual, needs a bit of prodding on the throttle. And you can see the action post the 3000 RPM mark with a nice surge forward in momentum. The engine is quite vocal when you rev it hard and makes a nice sound when you push it past the 5000 RPM mark. In city conditions, you don't feel the lack of bottom end grunt due to the convenience of the automatic, but you have to build your momentum for quick overtakes and plan them in advance. However, out on the bigger roads, you do feel a need for additional torque from the 1.2-litre motor and will more often than not have to keep it on the boil for constant highway performance. The sport mode improves performance by allowing you to hold the revs for longer in a bid to build up more speed. In fact, if you are looking to do a bit of spirited driving, then leaving the gearbox in sport mode is actually the best thing to do. It is also in sport mode that you get access to the manual shifting option, which is achieved through the plus and minus buttons on the gear lever. The response from the buttons is immediate and will even give you the option of engine braking if the need arises. The system, though, is programmed to ensure that you don't put the transmission in a gear too high for an RPM too low or vice versa, and will not shift no matter how many times you press the button unless the conditions are optimal. Now, since this is a new combination, we put the car through its paces with our testing gear and discovered that it did the 0 to 100 kmph sprint in 14.28 seconds, while the 20 to 80 kmph kickdown was achieved in 8.61 seconds and the 40 to 100 kmph kickdown in 12.44 seconds. For comparison, the BS4 spec 1.5-litre petrol with the 6-speed DCT did the 0 to 100 kmph sprint in 11.12 seconds, the 20 to 80 kmph kickdown in 6.58 seconds, and the 40 to 100 kmph kickdown in 8.16 seconds. Clearly, the Figo in this new AT guys has mellowed down the performance image it once had, but is expected to give a better fuel economy and will come into a lower tax bracket, which should help with pricing against the competition. The Ford Figo range is underpinned by McPherson struts in front and a semi-independent suspension at the rear. You get disc brakes in front and drums at the rear and 15-inch wheels across the range. Ford has always been known to make fun to drive cars, and the Figo is right up there in the list. It's a car that's set up to let you enjoy your time behind the wheel and push you to be spirited when the going gets twisty. Steering is accurate with directness when it comes to inputs. As compared to its rivals, it feels heavier at slow speeds, but more than makes up for it when you need to up the ante. As compared to the first generation or even the first iteration of this car, it's become a bit softer in the handling department, but nothing that will dampen your driving experience. Ride quality is constant both at low speed and faster speeds, the Figo taking most of whatever it comes without much of a struggle. The automatic gearbox does take away some of the involvement that you get from the 5-speed manual, but not so much that you are missing out on the fun time behind the wheel. Where you do feel the pinch is when the engine runs out of steam if you haven't planned your moves in advance and need to react immediately to a situation. Ford's always been known to make handsome looking cars, and the second generation Figo that was launched 2015 is no less. You get this muscular bulge on the hood, these sleek headlamps, these chrome elements near the fog lamps, and of course this oval grille, which was a complete revelation when it was showcased first on the Figo concept in 2014. Now, while this may be a very good looking car, it's missing two very important elements. That's projector headlamps and LED DRLs, and those aren't even available on the top of the line titanium blue variant, which is odd considering that both Maruti Suzuki and Hyundai offer projector headlamps and LED DRLs not just on the top spec models but on certain mid-level variants too. In profile, the Figo gets many of its design traits from larger Fiesta hatchback. You get short overhangs, flared wheel arches, a low roofline, and a thick C-pillar that blends well into the back of the car. Also of particular notice are the diamond cut 15-inch alloy wheels that are available with this titanium variant. The rear of the Ford Figo is a bit understated, but it's sufficiently unique that you won't miss it when you look at it. Highlights here include this strong line running on the boot door, these wraparound tail lamps, and this lip spoiler that's common across the range. The cabin of the Ford Figo is offered in only one color scheme. It's an all-black theme with these gloss black inserts in the steering wheel, center console, aircon vents, as well as near the gear lever. Now, to assess the front of the Figo's cabin, let us look at it in three parts: quality, practicality, and ergonomics. Now, in terms of quality, the plastic is relatively soft touch but is of this grainy texture which looks and feels behind, especially when you compare it to the competition. In terms of practicality, you get a lot of storage spaces in the center console as well as divided storage spaces in the door pockets and a large glove box. Now, in terms of ergonomics, everything is easy to reach and falls easily to hand. The buttons are all chunky, and that allows you to develop muscle memory while remembering where everything is. The seats themselves are quite comfortable with enough headroom and legroom, and the steering and both the seat can be adjusted for height, giving you the option to get the optimal driving position. Now, where the front seats of the Figo had so much to offer in terms of space and practicality, the rear is actually quite bare. There's no center armrest, there's no door storage, there's no rear AC vents. In fact, the only storage that you get are these pockets behind the doors. While headroom is not an issue, legroom, despite the seat back being scooped out and the seat adjusted to my seating position, is just about acceptable. At 257 litres, the Figo's boot is segment standard and is wide and low but with a high loading lip. The rear seat back can be folded down for additional storage space. The automatic Figo that we are driving today is a top-spec titanium model with most of the bells and whistles that Ford offers for the Figo range. This includes climate control, height adjustment for the driver's seat, auto headlamps, rain-sensing wipers, and a reverse camera with sensors. You get a 7-inch touchscreen infotainment system with built-in navigation, but without phone mirroring of any type. This means no Android Auto, MirrorLink, or Apple CarPlay. However, Ford has included its PASS connected car technology that comes with over 42 features providing various functions. On the safety front, dual front airbags and ABS with EBD are standard across the range, with the top spec models getting 6 airbags. This automatic version also gets traction control, an electronic stability program, and hill launch assist. It's been a long and rainy day that we have spent assessing the Ford Figo Petrol Automatic, and here's what we discovered. If you enjoy the way Fords drive in terms of ride quality, handling, driving dynamics, but want the convenience of a two-pedal setup, then the Figo Petrol Automatic should definitely be on your list. Yes, it lacks some of the feel-good features like projector headlamps, LED DRLs, phone mirroring, and a lot of things for the second row occupants, but it more than makes up with good driving dynamics. However, we feel that if you really want to enjoy your driving experience, then you should go in for the manual Ford Figo. Ford Figo in this petrol automatic, guys, rivals cars like the Maruti Suzuki Swift AMT, Hyundai Grand i10 Nios AMT, Renault Triber AMT, as well as the Tata Tigor AMT. For all the details on the Ford Figo petrol automatic as well as the on-road prices, do visit our website carwale.com. Don't forget to hit that like button as well as share and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.